Welcome to Tunisia's Locks Beauty Tips and Potpourri. Hello, gang. Hello, sisterhood. Thank you all for being here for this video. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for all of the ways that y'all show up on this channel, your comments, your shares. Some of you have contacted me and told me y'all heard someone on Instagram referring somebody to the channel or something, and I'll just be like cracking up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. You know, when you're on YouTube, you just see yourself as doing what you like to do and having fun. You don't realize that you could really be making an impression on someone's life, or that someone might find something you say noteworthy enough to share it with someone else. So it's just beautiful stuff. I hope y'all are doing great today. I hope you're feeling peaceful, productive, and prosperous. Today, I just want to talk about the beauty of the journey and some of the highlights of my Sisterlock journey. There have been a lot of wonderful experiences that have come out of this journey. There are a lot of things that I've learned, and there have just been so many advantages to having my Sisterlocks. I thought I'd just kind of talk about that today and just share some of that with you. And I encourage you all to also share one or two things in the comment section that have been key in your journey, something positive that makes you know deep within your core that this was the best decision that you've ever made, because I believe this is the best decision I've ever made. So if this looks like a video that you want to stick around for, stick around. So I want to, just talk about some of the things that have been keys in my experience. Now, I have had my locks for a little bit over 10 years now, and it's just been great, y'all, on so many levels. I've learned a lot. I've lost some length because of some decisions, but we're here to talk about the good today. This was the best decision I ever made in my life. Before getting my locks, I was at a place. I was always kind of one of those people that didn't like to spend a lot of time in the mirror, didn't like to spend a lot of time on my hair. I mean, even when I used to relax and curl, I'd be in that mirror maybe 10 or 15 minutes. I'm not one of those people that beats my face a lot, that's got to be looking perfect, that takes, if I'm going to, it takes like an hour or 2 hours to get ready just to go to work in the morning. If I spend time doing anything in the morning, it's in the shower and luxuriating in the blessing of water. But as it relates to looking good, I'm serious about looking good. I've been like that since I was a kid. I was that kid who used to get up when I was in the first grade at 1 or 2 in the morning, lay out my clothes, go in the bathroom, wash up and everything, and then come back, check them again on the bed, make sure everything was perfect at the end of my bed, and get back in the bed. So that when I got up in the morning, I was on time. I didn't have to rush it. I mean, I was doing this in the first grade. I was also doing my hair in the first grade. After the first grade, after like 6, my mom didn't have to do my hair again unless she wanted to. When she did it, she was washing it on the weekends and pressing it. But as for the day-to-day styling, she never had to do it. So from the time I was little, I remember being concerned about the way I look in terms of my presentation. My presentation was always important. And although I didn't spend a lot of time on my presentation, what was important for me, especially as I got older, was looking good for myself. Whenever I would get up and get dressed in the morning, even if I'm going to be in my house all day, my kids will tell you, if we're having Saturday morning breakfast, mommy is dressed and she looks good, and you would think she's going to work. I don't care what I'm doing around my house today. Whether I'm working or not, I'm always dressed. That's something that makes me feel good. During difficult times in my life, in times where I had a lot of trials and tribulations, that was something that helped me to look inward and feel better about myself. I had to do the inner work, but also doing the external things to help get me through, so that at least I looked like something. If I didn't feel like something, helped me. So I'm a strong believer in get up every day, get yourself together, put on some clothes, look decent, and I always say, look alive, look alive, look alive. Like when you look in the mirror, look at what you see and be thankful. regardless of how you feel, find something in you to feel good about. So that's been something I carried with me all my life. But I also, like I said, never spent a lot of time doing a lot of traditional beauty things that people do, and when they're particular about how they look. So the Sisterlock journey has been particularly wonderful for me. I was impressed and have been impressed and am still impressed every day, because it is a style that allows me to look good every single day with, you know, very little work and maintenance, other than the hundreds of things I tell you about on the channel that you must do in order to keep your locks looking good and keep your hair beautiful and abundant. But seriously, it is one of those look good everyday hairstyles. I always say you will never have a bad hair day, notwithstanding the teenage phase that you're going to go through when your hair starts bucking the system and you start realizing those locks are not going to look like they did in the few months after you got them installed, that they actually are going to turn into locks. And they're going to rebel, and they're going to bunch, and they're going to slip, and they're going to unravel, and they're not going to look like their family members, and you're going to have ugly ducklings in your hair and all of that stuff. But beyond that, it's wonderful. This has been the most carefree, I'm going to say freeing experience with my hair than I've ever had. I never have an afterthought. If I want to get up and just run my hands through my hair like this and just do like this, I can do it and I'm still gonna look good. If I decide I want to take them up to the top of my head and do a messy bun, I'm still gonna look good, and so are you. Like, no matter what you do with your locks, I don't care what length they are, once you embrace the beauty that is you, you're going to always feel empowered. You're going to feel, it's going to increase your level of confidence and your sense of, like when I say confidence, what I mean is, you know that this is one of the things that's going to be together, that's going to always look good, that's always going to show up for you. Maybe you have to worry about your outfit. Maybe you feel like you need to lose a few pounds. Maybe you want to paint your nails, or like me, you decide, forget the fakies, I'm going like the natural way. Y'all going to see my nubs for the next year. Whatever it is, it's like you don't have to worry about that. Maybe now you can spend a little more time lining your lips. You know, maybe now you can spend a little more time picking out your jewelry, but your hair won't hold you back anymore. Like, you have been freed from the tyranny and the slavery of hair. And that is a big thing in this society. To me, that is a huge for us African American women, or women of the African diaspora, because we have spent so much time with our hair. Over time, we have invested so much into our hair and its appearance, and trying different things and putting whatever is required into our tresses in terms of money, but also in terms of time to get our tresses to look the way we want them to look. There's an entire historical backdrop to our hair, which has brought many blessings, helped us form many friendships, allowed us to spend a lot of family time sitting out on the steps getting your hair corn rolled while your neighborhood ride or die sisters were jumping double dutch or doing something else. Or maybe that was the way you spent time with your grandmother during the summers. I know for us, we did. We would go to my grandma Viola, my sisters and I, and we would get our hair done. She was a beautician, so we would spend a whole day getting our hair done, and she would use one of them tiny little pressing combs, like the ones with the really thin, like real, just not the big thick ones, but them tiny ones, so that when she straightened your hair, it was so straight. But it took forever, and as a child, it was like a maddening process. But having those memories, those were the ways that we bonded with my grandmother. So hair in our community, we've bonded over it, we've cried over it, we've been frustrated over it. But this style allows you to feel, to me, to be more free. It allows you to be yourself. You have your natural hair. It allows you to also see and experience the abundance of our hair and how beautiful it can be when we leave it alone, or when we do less to it, when we don't do the kinds of things that sabotage the health of our hair that we've been doing in this country for, or throughout history for so long, before we decided to step into the power of the beauty of the kink. You know what I mean? And to really embrace the kink in our hair and to love our beautiful, diverse selves and the different ways that our curls express themselves. So this has been an amazing journey. You will never have another bad hair day. The weather, like, doesn't matter what's going on in the weather. I don't care if it's raining, sleeting, snow, or if the sun is just shining down on you. It ain't gonna do nothing but make you more beautiful, just like the sun, because you got that melanin. It's just a wonderful hairstyle for you on so many levels. Not to mention the hair growth, the way that it allows your hair to rest, the versatility of this style as compared to some of the other natural styles. This style is one where you can just do your hair any way. You can plait it, you can roll it, you can put a bandana on it, you can wear a scarf, you can curl it, you can create buns. Like, you can do so many beautiful things with this style. It's wonderful for lovemaking. I mean, it just is. It's great for lovemaking in so many ways. Like, your man can grab your hair. You know what I'm saying? You can take these locks and you can infuse them with oils. You can also infuse them with what we call umsi, or from other cultures use a lot of bahur, and you dampen the hair and you just let those fragrances smoke up into the hair, and it just adds to the romance. You know that your hair is always going to smell good. It's going to always look good. You're not afraid that somebody's going to grab your hair and, pull a track out, or one of the extensions is going to fall. Like, you don't have to worry about that. This is a wonderful style. When you talk about Sisterlocks and the hair journey, I also think a lot about the spiritual journey that goes along with the hair. There is a sense of enrichment and coming to know yourself better, a sense of increase in your self-image, and your sense of self-worth, and just your the glorification of Black beauty as you see the amazing way in which your hair can do all sorts of things when you kind of just leave it alone and let it express itself. It gives you a sense of pride. Not only do you get that reflected back to you as people are constantly amazed at the bountifulness of your hair, but you feel beautiful when you look in the mirror. I feel more authentically me than I have felt my entire life. And the interesting thing about that is that I felt that, or I began to come into that the most when I started the journey and I wasn't comfortable with the way I looked. And that's what is the beautiful part of this journey, is that when you start to go through those stages and you start watching yourself morph, you also morph. You start to shift and you start to have a greater affinity for what is really important and who you really are. So you have to, out of necessity, detach from what is on the outside and to go within to find your sense of self-worth and to really get a sense of who you are and to develop another level of appreciation for not only you, but your hair and what it does and the multitude of ways that it expresses itself. Because this is definitely a journey. A lot of times at different points in the journey, the hair is doing all sorts of stuff and it looks all sorts of ways. And until you start to get to a level of where you feel you look beautiful, then you don't necessarily feel in your best. You feel a bit self-conscious, and you have to come to terms with that. You have to see yourself looking like a plucked chicken. If you start out with your locks shorter and you decide not to get extensions, you go through that process and you learn to love on you so much more. Our hair is a very important part of our journey. And I think as women of the African diaspora, especially American women, African American women, I think our hair has a particular significance greater than many other groups of people. And it's because of the struggles and some of the systemic discrimination And so much of what we've experienced as a part of the African American experience, or the Made in American experience, or the Black experience, that it's been such a focal point. Whether we had to try to look like other people, whether we had to be self-conscious about how we wore our styles in the workplace for fear of criticism or dismissal. Even in some schools today and in some jobs, our hair is still a source of contention. So coming back and claiming who we are and loving who we are, whether we're wearing sister locks, micro locks, traditional locks, freeform locks, an afro twist, or whatever other hairstyle we're wearing, it is a wonderful way that we get to express who we are, and we get to take pride in just the multitude of hairstyles that we can rock. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience. And were it not for me seeing Sisterlocks, I really don't know if, I would have realized that this was an option for my hair. And I think I chose this style because of the versatility and because of the fact that the locks were so small. I liked to be able to envision doing different things with my hair, but also I wasn't ready for thicker, more traditional looking locks. I wanted something smaller. And so when I saw my girlfriend Serena get hers, even initially, I remember when I first saw him, I was like, why she got all them little tiny plaits in her hair? And why she sit up there for 40 hours to get them things in her hair? And then she spent all that money. And I remember thinking, And it was about 2-3 years later, I had mine installed. And again, I'll tell you to the day I die, it was the best decision that I ever made. And if you're fortunate to find the right loctician, and you're fortunate to be in a place where you've educated yourself about this journey, and you choose the right path in terms of what you put in your hair and who you listen to, and you take the time to enjoy the journey and be patient with it and let your hair do what it's going to do and be uniquely you and not worry about what everybody else's locks look like, you too are going to love this journey. I mean, I cannot even tell you. Another highlight for me on this journey was when my locks compressed and then dropped. I had these locks in for many years before I felt like I experienced the length that I felt like I should have had throughout the journey. I knew my hair was growing. I was getting the retightenings. I'm feeling all the new growth, but I wasn't able to experience the length until my locks compressed, tightened up, and then dropped. And that allowed my length to be reflected in my locks. Now, I've done a lot of things to my locks. I've lost some length through picking lint and doing quite a few other things, like a lot of coloring, but my hair is extremely healthy, and I know it's that way because of my I Am Melanin Magic products, which you can get those in the description if you're interested. But I also will say, when it comes to the length of your hair, it's important to know what your pattern is. If you're going to be doing your own hair, or someone else is going to be doing your hair, or you're flip-flopping back and forth between different locticians, because when you tighten in a pattern that's different than the pattern of your lock, it's going to slow your growth down, because the hair is no longer going to coil in one direction. It's going to have to go back around and go a different direction. So you're not going to always see the length that you should probably have. And I know I've run into that on more than one occasion, because when I retighten my own locks, I do what I feel is a reverse 4, but based on what I've come to know more is a reverse 4, I know I'm a little bit off. But y'all know I'm not anal about a whole lot of things, and so I'm fine with that. But I'm telling you, if you're somebody that's really picky about that, make sure that you know how the rotation points start and stop, and what area of that northeast, southwest, or 12, 9, 6, and 3 you need to be going through, and make sure that your loctician knows the direction. Because it didn't dawn on me, y'all, when I went to that lady in Macon and sat down to have her do my locks, and you already know the debacle that was with the married locks and all of the other stuff. I spoke about that a few months ago. I was disgusted, but I was still watchful of how I related the story and some of the discourse that went back and forth. But I will tell you that it didn't dawn on me until almost the end of my retightening. She never asked me what pattern I had, and I never told her what pattern I have. So what the hell went on during them 8 hours? And how did I first forget? But as a consultant, how did she forget to ask me? And what was she doing? I mean, like that now, when I think about that now, I'm like, oh my gosh, now it's not going to kill my locks. I've done things to my locks, but at the same time, you want to be consistent with that, because when when you're interested in the length and you want to be able to see the length, then you want to be mindful of the pattern, but you also will love it when your locks compress and they drop. For some people, it takes 2 to 3 years. Sometimes less, depending on your hair and what your hair does and the texture and all of that. It took mine 5 years before that actually happened. But it's been wonderful because they look thinner. They look more uniform. Granted, I did do a lot of stuff to my locks to kind of rush my locks to getting there. I couldn't deal with some of the bulging and all that crazy stuff. So I did a lot to my locks. But I just can't tell y'all how beautiful this journey is. And I wish you the absolute best in your journey. If you're deciding to get Sisterlocks, go ahead and do it. If you know you can afford it and you're willing to put in the work, go ahead and do it once you find the right loctician. If you're on the fence about it, take a little bit more time to consider it. But if you want a style that allows you to abundantly express your individual creativity, if you're going through a spiritual transformation and you're feeling like you want to change your hair, if you are wanting something that is fairly hands-off but is always going to look good, you need something that you feel quote unquote is presentable because of its versatility, this is going to be the perfect style for you. I love y'all. I want to thank you all for everything. I also want to tell you that we're having a sale on the I Am Melanin Magic website. And some of you have seen it because you just come to the channel, because I did a video that was supposed to go out in March and I never uploaded it. The anti-aging serum is on sale, 2 for the price of almost 1. This stuff is amazing, y'all. It's amazing. If you want something to make your skin look radiant, if you want something to give you your glow and your shine, you want something to smooth fine lines and allow your skin to feel good, especially if you have dry skin or combination skin, this stuff is going to be wonderful for you. It's very healing. It's very moisturizing. It conditions your skin. It renews. It exfoliates. It cleans it. It does some wonderful stuff. And this is on sale on the I Am Melanin Magic website. And you all also know our premier product, which is the hair oil, the spray. Matter of fact, I'm making 10 gallons today, and I was taking what was left over from my last batch and just putting it all in my hair. I actually did my tresses today, because I'm probably going to do a full-on wash, which y'all know I haven't done. I don't do washes that frequently, but I see Frage in 2 weeks. So I'm going to probably do a full-on wash in about a week or a little less than a week. Would love to do one now, but I don't want to do a second one before I see her. And I always will make sure that I wash my hair before I see her. But this is the premium hairspray. It's super for your hair. If you use this consistently over time, your locks will not disappoint you. This will help your locks build resistance to some of the things that you may be doing to your hair that cause your hair to break down, whether it's over shampooing, or whether you live in a hot environment or a cold environment, or whether you're dyeing your hair, or just whether you've had your locks for a while, or if you want to give your locks a boost in terms of growth and thickness, overall health. Many of you have commented on this. Please go back to the site and leave your reviews. If you leave your reviews, please contact me by phone and text me and tell me you did. Okay, and on your next purchase, you will receive a discount. So many of you are making repeat orders, hundreds of you, but you haven't gone back and you haven't posted your reviews on the site. So please make sure you do that. If you're struggling with thinning, balding in certain areas, I'm not talking about all over, where your hair is not growing and you've gone to several doctors, although I have many a woman that has had areas where she's gone through doctors, had what do they call those, injections, and didn't get a lot of relief, but this was able to stimulate fuzz and some growth. Typically, this is going to work better when your hair is you having problems around the edges or in certain areas of your hair. I don't consider this not to say that it hasn't been helpful to many. I don't consider this, and I don't market this as something that is going to heal your hair care woes and is going to solve problems that you have had for an eternity. I also don't believe in limiting the belief of something that is created with healing intentions and something that's come through by way of a divine channel. I don't limit that. But what I'm saying is that make sure that you are taking a look at your diet. Make sure that you are taking a look at what other stressors you have in your life. If you know that you have some genetic predisposition to hair loss, if you're dealing with something relating to a health condition, whether it be COVID or chemo or something else, do things in your external world that are going to improve the likelihood of your hair being able to bounce back while also using this, even if it means making sure you're getting more vitamin E in your diet, more B12, more folic acid supplements, biotin, definitely sulfur, not just taking the sulfur flakes, because hair will grow, but also maybe considering a sulfur spray and spraying it on problem areas, okay? These are things that you can make. You can just Google that stuff, but I suggest the sulfur flakes over sulfur capsules. I digress. But anyway, you can find this on the I Am Melanin Magic website, and you can order from there. I want to thank you all for your time. I want to thank you for everything that you do to support the channel. I want to just thank you for taking time out of your world today, out of your life, to come and spend some time with me to watch this video. I hope that you keep coming back. I hope that you keep loving on me by sharing your content with me in the form of your comments, your shares. I also am welcoming and taking videos, individual videos from you all to post in my videos. If there's something you want to share about your Sisterlock journey that I haven't talked about on the channel that you feel sisters need to know about, make a little 1 or 2 minute clip video. You know, I film on my cell phone. Make sure you have some light behind you, whether it's a window, which is natural light, which is best, or sit outside and just talk to the sisters and let us know your feelings about the journey or something else that you want to say, and let me put it in one of the videos. You can save it on your phone and you can send it to me to the email that's in the description underneath the video. You can also send it by way of Google Drive. Save it up to Google, and then I can download it, and then I can place it in a video, okay? Shout out to you, Terry. I have been negligent. I've had problems with my old phone, and I'm trying to get the stuff out of it because I want to put your video in here, and I am not going to let that phone just like... I'm working on trying to get that screen fixed so that I can get my videos and my content out of that phone, because your video is in that phone. So be patient with me, because I definitely want to put you up here, and I want everybody to see you, share your story. I love y'all again. Have a peaceful, prosperous, and productive rest of your day, morning, or evening. Bye. Hey ladies, do you love the way your skin looks and feels? I know I do, because I am using the I Am Melanin Magic Anti-Aging Serum. And at 50, I love the way my skin looks and feels. This blend is bomb. It renews, revitalizes, rejuvenates, soothes, conditions, moisturizes, tones, brightens, and fades all in one step. So if you're ready to get your glow on, go get you some I Am Melanin Magic Anti-Aging Serum.
Do you have dark spots from skin irritation? How about unsightly marks from acne that's lasted way too long? Fade Magic can help you find your way back to radiance over time. Don't delay, order yours today.
If you struggle with acne during your youth or even as an adult, it's time to give I Am Melanin Magic Acne Serum a try. Unlike other harsh products that dry out your skin, our oils balance and purify, helping to heal inflammation. All natural and formulated to meet the requirements of melanated skin. You'll see results in no time. Don't delay, order yours today.